we have, much like Andrew Davison and Michael Foy, we have a pretty evenly matched Frankie Tal-Shahar, number 13 for Northwestern, and Jake Berheland, number 8 for Minnesota. This is going to be a really gutsy match, per se, as Tal-Shahar knows how to bring it for Northwestern, as does Berheland.
Frankie's a super quick, physical, exciting wrestler, and this is a bit of a grudge match. He's had trouble with Berheland in the past, but Frankie now back in the lineup after being a little banged up earlier in the season. He's got to be looking to bring it to this guy. Take it personally, like we said, coming out of the break.
And Berheland coming off a third-place finish at the Southern Scuffle, which was hosted by UT Chattanooga down in Tennessee. A 7-1 decision over Mackenzie Bell of Ryder. They're trying to build some forward momentum. And it starts here with against Frankie Tal-Shahar.
Tal-Shahar working for a little right side underhook, but both guys doing a good job with the hand fight. Moving a lot, hands and feet. Frankie looking for snap to some offense, but Berheland does a good job holding his position here. Scrappy so far, as predicted. Bit of a grudge match.
And this has some weight personally for Northwestern. A win would push them back into the lead. Still no points on the board as we are 1 minute, but you can hear a pin drop here at Welsh Ryan Arena.
Yep, things are getting tense here. Really close team race. Two fairly evenly guys squaring off against each other on the mat here.
Some scrappiness here from Tal-Shahar, as Berheland has been stymied time and time again, trying to get some offense going for his team, who is in desperate need of some team points after such a strong start as we approach 2 minutes gone here in the first period. A nice snap down there.
Good fakes by Frankie, really pouring it on with his footwork here, getting Berheland to put his hands on the mat. Frankie looking to open up some angles and get to his offense. Doing a really good job. High pace so far.
Tal-Shahar breaking the gridlock.
Nice.
Here's a move from Tal-Shahar. Can he turn it for a 2-point takedown? This would prove to be incredibly important.
This is a really big position here. Frankie's quickness and slickness on display there. Now looking to threaten danger position against Berheland. Bergeland's got a nice chest lock. Stingy defense.
Trying to turn with 25 seconds. As Berheland still has that chest lock, as you mentioned. So for Frankie Tal-Shahar, trying to get the 2 points.
And now Bergeland's in a position to score with 10 seconds left. Frankie's got to keep that leg. Look for his own takedown, and can he get it?
A takedown, he does. 2 points, and you don't usually see buzzer beaters in wrestling. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
That is a real buzzer beater.
Nothing, Frankie Tal-Shahar. And let's take another look at, you could see the Minnesota bench going, and then the 2-point takedown from Frankie Tal-Shahar to put his team that much closer here in match 8 of 10. He has a 2-0 lead, so he'll start on top. Berheland on bottom. We'll see if Berheland can get the early escape. Berheland on his feet. Easy escape there from Tal-Shahar to Berheland.
Berheland does a good job getting to his feet. That's a really big takedown at the end of the first period by Frankie, in a position that he wasn't necessarily in the best place to score, but he just kept wrestling and gritted it out. The last time these guys wrestled, it was a really close match at the NCAA championships. So this that 2 points early in the match might be decisive.
And decisive, definitely, as Berheland tried to go in for the single leg. 70 seconds remaining here in period number 2. They continue to keep that theme along, dancing on the edge of the mat. 1 minute remaining here in period number 2 of the 141 bout. And Still both gridlocked here. Nice snap down there from Tal-Shahar.
Nice fake from Berheland, but Frankie times it to drop down on that low single. Now Bergeland's draped over the top. This is a frustrating position to be in for both guys, but Frankie's got to stay patient and look to score another takedown here.
We'll see if Tal-Shahar can do just that. He has that left leg. Now in a bit of a predicament with 15 seconds to go as Berheland, their whistle to a stalemate. That could have proven dangerous for Tal-Shahar with 12.2 seconds remaining. Let's see how period 2 comes to a close. With 5 seconds remaining, no more offense there from either side. So a 2-1 advantage for Frankie Tal-Shahar heading into a crucial third period. A 2-1 lead over Jake Berheland of Minnesota.
Interesting choice by Frankie there to pick neutral. Looks like he wants to go for another takedown to ice this match. And he's been looking really good on his feet. Both guys with a lot of action here.
And for Frankie, he's had some good snap downs and some good single leg picks. Some acrobatics from both sides. 30 seconds here. Both wrestlers know the importance of this match. This overall team match, really for bragging rights in the Big Ten. As the conference is once again the best in the land with 70 seconds to go. Both trying to find that upper hand.
Frankie doing a good job continuing to come to that righty underhook, which seems to be stifling Bergeland's offense a little bit, but you'd really love to see Frankie work for another takedown here. It's a super close match with 50 seconds to go.
Whistled out of bounds with 50.9 seconds remaining in period number 3. Any single move could prove to be the deal breaker.
Frankie with a reshot here.
Trying to go in. Can he turn 2 points?
Huge position here once again. Berheland
still no.
Locking up Frankie's ankle. No points scored.
This could potentially be big. 20 seconds remaining.
Berheland reversing the position, but no takedown yet. Frankie now again in position to score.
Stifling defense here from Frankie Tal-Shahar with 10 seconds.
And the Minnesota coaches are going to challenge that. They think that Frankie was on his back for long enough for that to be a takedown.
So the challenge coming in from head coach Brandon Eggum. 3.4 seconds remaining. They're challenging this, seeing if Frankie Tal-Shahar was on his back for longer to see if he could get some decisive back points, and that would be crucial.
So for anyone who doesn't know, when you're in neutral position, if you're able to hold your opponent on his back for what they call a danger count of, I believe it's 4 seconds, that will be scored as a takedown in your favor. So that's what they're looking for. Was Frankie on his back for 4 seconds? Did Berheland get those points? And that's a really decisive 2 points.
100%. The 2 points, if Berheland is able to get it, would all but ice this match here at 141. Put him up 3-2, and really, it's been Frankie Tal-Shahar since that takedown. It's been Frankie Tal-Shahar's show here on the mats, and this is, we'll show you again, this is a big-time review, potentially match-deciding, and the Minnesota bench is just waiting in anticipation So is Northwestern, and whether or not this goes to the home crowd or the visitors, I can definitely say one of the more important and consequential reviews that the Big Ten has seen this season, and what has, again, been a very exciting season for the Big Ten Conference.
I'm nervous. This is a big challenge, a good challenge by the Minnesota coaches at a really decisive point, not just in the match but in the dual meet as well. A win here for Minnesota makes a comeback by the Wildcats a lot harder to pull off. But as you were saying, this has been Frankie's match so far. All the best scoring opportunities have been for Frankie, have been for the Wildcats, and it's just been a really close showdown at 141.
And if Minnesota wins this challenge and go up 3-2 on Tal-Shahar, you would ultimately have to have Yahya Thomas and Trevor Chumbley win.
Yeah, I think if Berheland does win this challenge, they'll probably put a little bit more time on the clock and start Frankie on bottom, because then it would have been a takedown. And if he's able to escape within, I'd guess, 8 seconds or whatever they put on the clock, then the match would obviously continue into overtime. But if Berheland wins this, you need big performances by Yahya and Trevor, who are absolutely capable of it. But it's a tight duel.
And the former Yahya Thomas, the defending Big Ten Wrestler of the Week, after his performances at Midlands, he was absolutely sensational. And from the fan crowd, they're loving this extra waiting time. But Yahya Thomas, 2 major decisions to the semis, beat number 10 Doug Zapf of Penn 3-2 in a decision, and then the finals took down Arizona State's Kyle Parco, who is 5th in the country in a nail-biter. So to win 149 at Midlands, and you're really showing the grittiness of what the Midlands tournament and that win has given Northwestern. And as it looks like we do have a decision, we'll see what the refs are going to decide. And Minnesota loses the challenge. Coach Egham in disbelief. So we'll see if they will put some extra time on the clock. I don't believe so. With 3.4, this has to be some major defense from Tal-Shahar. And the buzzer does it. And a comeback in the making. Frankie Tal-Shahar in a nail-biter, 2-1 over Jake Berheland. Decision maker, Yahya Thomas, the defending Big Ten Wrestler of the Week. If you're Yahya, 11-1 for Thomas, 9-1 for Blockhus. Pretty evenly matched. What are you looking for out of both wrestlers?
Just like the last match, these wrestlers are pretty familiar with each other. They've wrestled in consecutive years at these dual meets. You want to keep seeing the Wildcats come out aggressive. Blockhus has got to try to slow Yahya down, who has got to be one of the most explosive and fastest wrestlers in the NCAA. And Yahya's got to look to get out to a lead early and keep building the Northwestern comeback and his own match win. Doing a good job so far in this hand fight, working an underhook and a club, collar tie.
Thomas trying to get a leg in on that. Nice defense there from Blockhus.
Yahya threatening a little double leg there, but his arms were tied up, so Blockhus was able to get his hips back and defend. But really great motion from Yahya to start this match. Working these collar ties, inside ties. A little shot attempt from Blockhus.
And Thomas has been able to thwart any positive momentum.
Looks like Blockhus a little head-to-head contact.
That's definitely going to put in as you mentioned, Michael Blockhus. It looked like he's pointing to his jaw. Some head-to-jaw action, which is definitely going to rock you.
Definitely not comfortable, but
to say the least. We'll see if Blockhus, he's going off the mat.
Blockhus walking off the mat.
Let's take another look at this. Yep, the snap down. He's under concussion protocol, mentioning it on the in-house speaker. So this could, of course, our number one priority, Michael Blockhus, being okay and making sure Blockhus hopes to get back in this match. However, if you're Yahya Thomas and the Wildcats, this could potentially be a medical forfeit. That's 6 points. That 6 points brings your team up 18-11.
Yeah, that would be a big swing in the team score. I've never seen an athlete get escorted out of the gym like that, but could be a pivotal moment. I hope Blockhus is healthy.
And we will take a break as Minnesota's Michael Blockhus in concussion protocol. 12-11 Northwestern. You're watching wrestling on Big Ten Plus. We're back after the short intermission. Michael Blockhus clearing concussion protocols in record time. Back on the mat with Yahya Thomas. And that's some resiliency from Blockhus, knowing that his team and a top 10 victory is on the line. Being able to come back out. Yahya Thomas a little bit shaken up.
Yeah, I got poked in the eye there.
That'll certainly.
And that's a problem he's had this year. He got poked in the eye a couple times at Midlands. But Blockhus in with some offense. Yahya doing a good job getting that front headlock and wrestling out of it. But yeah, you like to see the concern for concussion protocol. It's no joke, and it's good to see Blockhus back on the mat.
Both wrestlers on their feet have shown some signs of offense, as an underhook here from Thomas. Can he turn anything into offense as we are approaching 2 minutes gone here in the first period, trying to break down Blockhus?
Yeah, was threatening double underhooks there, a position where he is super dangerous, but Blockhus will actually throw him to his back for no points. Great job by Yahya continuing to wrestle there, and now he comes back to his own double underhooks.
No points there for Michael Blockhus. Back to your feet at Northwestern, counting their blessings here with 40 seconds remaining here in this first period. And if you're Yahya Thomas, really have to now sort of push the envelope as Thomas and Blockhus once again locked up in what has been a leather match of epic proportions. 20 seconds remaining. Thomas testing the waters with 15.
Good motion from both guys. Yahya coming in
Thomas
off a re-attack.
with some leg, trying to get the single leg with 8 seconds.
Really good job by Blockhus there, avoiding that re-attack. Yahya's re-attacks are dangerous.
And nothing after one. And 0-0. Thomas will elect to take the down position, and here's what almost put Michael Blockhus on the board. But the refs call no points.
Nice throw by Blockhus, but way to just keep wrestling by Yahya, avoid the takedown. And he's right up to his feet.
And Yahya Thomas trying to get the early escape. That would give him the 1-0 advantage. Some nice control here from Michael Blockhus. As Thomas back on his feet, trying to break the grip of Blockhus. Can he do so? He does. A 1-0 advantage for Yahya Thomas and the Wildcats in what has been routine close matches here at Welsh Ryan Arena. That 1 point could prove to be the difference maker.
A lot of really close matches here so far. This one's shaping up to be no different. Both guys had good offensive opportunities in the first period, but scored just 1-0. And definitely looking for, both guys need to be looking to pour on the offense here, get a takedown in this second period, and go into the third period on top.
Blockhus with trying to go for the double leg on Thomas, but with 1 minute remaining, Thomas and the Wildcats hold that 1-0 advantage. Thomas creating some space.
Coach Storniolo telling Yahya to chain some attacks together, get to his offense, and stay relentless. That's really got to be Yahya's thought right now.
So with 30 seconds remaining here in period number 2, a slim, albeit advantage for Northwestern, trying to get some points here, get a takedown or something to pattern yourself heading into this third period. 10 seconds remaining. Any last-minute move from either side as we now hit 5 seconds. And that's going to do it for period number 2. 1-0. Yahya Thomas holds an advantage over Michael Blockhus. So Blockhus grip going, and Yahya Thomas with the clean escape. And Blockhus trying to do the same. He's slammed down at center mat. Blockhus trying to get the escape. He does. Knots things up at 1. And a big-time move for the Golden Gophers.
Good job by Blockhus getting to his feet and getting the escape there. Love to see that that heavy mat return by Yahya. That's just you got to stay gritty in that position. Make it clear to your opponent that there are consequences to standing up to your feet. But this is going to be a close one once again.
80 seconds remaining here. Thomas almost getting an inside look.
Yeah, threatening that double leg again. Blockhus threw it by. Looked like he might have been trying to threaten a throw again. But so far this period, it's 2 shot attempts to none for Yahya.
And with 1 minute remaining, any move could prove to be the match decider. Now 50 seconds remaining.
You can just tell how familiar these guys are with each other. Blockhus knows when he goes for these shot attempts, he can't give Yahya even the slimmest opportunity for a reattack, because that's where Yahya is incredibly dangerous, is these extremely quick reattacks that we've been able to see through this match.
30 seconds. The crowd getting into it as we are gridlocked here at 1:49, I should say. 15 seconds remaining.
Big club by Blockhus right there.
Now 10. Any wrestler have a last second move with 1, and we are going to go to OT. So 1-1, and now with the sudden victory, explain for our fans at home that may not know, sudden victory.
So now both wrestlers have 2 minutes to get a takedown, and whoever gets the first takedown wins the match. If they don't get a takedown in these next 2 minutes, we go to the ride-outs, which we can explain if we get to those. But both guys have to be looking for a takedown here.
In a sudden death scenario with 2 minutes to work with for both Michael Blockhus and Yahya Thomas in what is a crucial match. Trying to get it on that leg. Thomas with an overhook. 1.5 to go.
Yahya looking for a high C there. Block is able to get the leg back, stay out of danger. This is a nail biter.
Now 75 seconds on the edge of our seats here at 1:49. Yahya Thomas and Michael Blockhus now with a minute.
1 minute, Cats fans.
You can feel the intensity from both sides. Who's going to come away with the win? Some movement there from both sides. Blockhus showing some movement now with 40.
Both guys so quick, threatening offense, getting back to the hand fight.
Now 30.
30-second score for both guys. Yahya's been doing a good job peppering in the fakes, but so far no one has gotten to a threatening position. You get the sense that the first person to get in deep on a leg in this period is going to be the victor, if either of them do.
With 10 seconds in this OT period. Some movement here with 5. Any last move with 2, 1, and the horn sounds an OT.
After the first overtime period.
So now we'll go to the rideouts. Each guy is going to have 30 seconds to work for an escape, and whatever the score is at the end of that will either end the match if one guy gets an escape and the other doesn't, or they'll continue with another round of overtime.
So this really makes it real sudden death as Blockhus is quick to his feet.
Yahya needs to stay stingy here, not let Blockhus get an escape.
Blockhus and Yahya back and forth.
Real stingy
It
ride
is
by Yahya.
Scrappy.
With
Yahya,
14 seconds left,
that's
big mat return.
Big slam from Yahya Thomas, 8 seconds. Trying to hold Yahya Thomas. And Michael Blockhus unable to get the escape here in the rideouts. Still tied at 1-1, and I have to say, we mentioned a previous match. We'll see the big-time mat return from Yahya Thomas. There you go. And now with 30 seconds remaining,
Blockhus elected to start in neutral position rather than giving Yahya the opportunity to escape. But the score should be 2-1 for Yahya, I believe, with that neutral start. Unless Blockhus gets a takedown here, Yahya will win the match.
now 6 seconds. Can Blockhus get a takedown? With 3, 2, and 1. No points there. Yahya Thomas
Of the match by decision at 140.
coming out with the 2-1 victory.
I believe he's lost to Ryan Deacon, who was our national champion at 157 pounds last year. He's lost him a handful of times. This is Trevor's first year starting at 157 because he's been sort of the second guy up to Deacon for a couple years. But look to see him continuing Deacon's legacy of taking it to Brayton Lee here.
Certainly a legacy willing to and worthy to live up to for Chumbley. And this, ladies and gentlemen, with the Wildcats up 15-11, trying to go for their first ranked win of the season compared to Minnesota's 4. Minnesota with an onslaught of ranked wins. Number 24, South Dakota State. Number 5, Oklahoma State. Number 18, North Dakota State. And number 28, Cal Poly, trying to make it number 5. But in order to do that, they got to get a major decision. 2 points. A huge takedown there from Trevor Chumbley.
Trevor, great job moving Lee around with his hands. Just picks that ankle so smooth. I mean, that's a great takedown to start the match for Trevor.
And you mentioned Brayton Lee's history with the Wildcats. Do you think that's a mind game for Lee?
I think so. I think it's hard not to walk into this gym, I imagine, for him without thinking on some level about his defeats to Deacon in the past couple years. I'm sure he was hoping for a slightly easier opponent this year, but Trevor is not that. Trevor's done an awesome job so far at 157 this year. He had a great, extremely dominant run at Midlands last week. He's tough on top. He's got unworldly hand fighting, and that's a nice mat return for Trevor.
Stellar mat return there from Chumbley, thwarting an escape from Lee as we approach 1.5 to go. Gives the escape to Brayton Lee.
Good motion on bottom by Brayton Lee. Bring them back to the feet. Trevor's got 45 seconds of riding time. That was a big escape for Lee, not letting that get too high this early in the match.
We'll see if Brayton Lee can get a single leg into a takedown with 1 minute to go here in the first period. He's down by 1. And this is nail-biting. 50 seconds to go for Chumbley and Brayton Lee.
Yeah, absolutely another close match so far. But Trevor's really looked like the aggressor for the whole match. He's doing an awesome job of moving Brayton around with his hands, with his fakes. And that's going to open up some offense. A shot attempt by Lee right there, though, although it doesn't get him anywhere.
Lee going in, trying to go in for the single leg. Now with 20 seconds remaining here against Chumbley. Can Chumbley add to his lead with 15? Nice defense there from Trevor Chumbley to thwart a single leg from Brayton Lee. 5 seconds to go in the first period. And the first period horn will sound. Trevor Chumbley leading Minnesota's Brayton Lee 2-1, heading in to the second period. We see Trevor Chumbley on bottom, and an escape here would prove big.
Trevor's got a good opportunity to open up his lead early on, and he does it.
What an easy escape there from Trevor Chumbley, almost given to him on a silver platter.
Nice re-attack by Brayton Lee on the edge.
Dangerous move here now from Brayton Lee. Chumbley's got to do something, try to get out of bounds, but Lee with the 2-point takedown to knot things up at 3. What a great counter move there from Brayton Lee.
Quick little counter. Brayton Lee is a veteran, and you expect him to have some tools in his arsenal. But that was a really good job by Trevor. That early escape didn't even let Brayton Lee chip into his riding time too much. And Matt Storniola, our head coach, will challenge that takedown call on the edge of the mat.
And the challenge. Well, let's take another look here. See, what do you think?
So the question is where the refs award the takedown. That might be a little bit early. We'll see what the refs say right now.
Yeah, Coach Storniolo quick to throw in. So the official review coming in.
Good challenge by Storny, who swaggers off the mat with his block. Oh, I see. So Storniola wasn't challenging the takedown. He was challenging for locked hands, which is a penalty point against Minnesota. So now Trevor's up 4-3 with the opportunity to get another point with an escape.
And that 4-3 advantage, if Chumbley can get that escape, as you mentioned, put him up 5-3 in what would be a big-time score here for the Wildcats. And they have a gauntlet of a road trip coming up at Iowa next Friday and then at Nebraska on Sunday. So trying to get some forward momentum, especially with Iowa.
That's just the Big Ten season for you.
No
back
days
to
off.
Back. Yep, no days off, no easy opponents. but that's why we choose to be here. That's why we choose to wrestle here. You want to be challenged, you go to the Big Ten.
And as for Minnesota, their road trip will continue at Nebraska on Friday before coming back to the Twin Cities for a matchup against Michigan State on Sunday, the 15th. So back in action with 1:41 here in the second period with Trevor Chumbley on bottom. Chumbley trying to get the escape. Gets the escape, and it's 5-3 Wildcats.
Another quick escape for Trevor. He's great on bottom, great at getting those escapes.
And after 1:30 to go, if you're Chumbley, you go for the takedown, make it a 4-point match.
Absolutely. You can't let this match stay close. Trevor's got to keep piling on his offense, try to just widen the gap here against a dangerous opponent.
Gridlocked once again. Chumbley breaks free from Lee with 1 minute remaining in the third period, second period, getting ahead of myself here. Now with 50.
Lee digging an underhook there, threatening a little bit, but to no avail. Good hand fighting from both guys in the center of the mat, though.
And Lee's hand fighting, it's been there, but unable to really put the icing on the cake as we approach 30 seconds to go. With Chumbley still holding on to that 5-3 advantage. A nice scrappiness from both sides.
Trevor is just doing an awesome job controlling the center of the mat, keeping his butt to the center of the mat, and driving Brayton Lee towards the edge. That's just a hallmark of a really great hand fighter, and Trevor is absolutely that.
5 seconds. Stalemate on offense. 5-3. Trevor Chumbley heading in to the third period. Brayton Lee is on bottom. And if you're Lee, the MO is clear. Go for the escape and then try to get a takedown. And if you're Chumbley, try to get some defense going. It's already really been showing that defense. And we'll see if a mat return.
Trevor's great on top. Brayton Lee with a tricky little move there, stepping on Trevor's foot. But Trevor's not going to let him up this easily. He's got to keep working. And there he goes. He gets it.
Lee gets the escape. 1 minute of riding time for Chumbley. We are down to the wire here in Evanston.
And once again, a match that's going to come down to a takedown. So Trevor's up by 1. He's got over a minute of riding time. But if Brayton Lee can get a takedown and a ride out, he will win the match by 1 point.
And Lee trying to get the single leg. Nice thwart there on the defensive end from Chumbley. Now some action, some scrappiness. 1 minute for Chumbley and Brayton Lee in the match decider.
And Trevor actually got hit for stalling there, so now he's got a stall warning, and another stall call will give Brayton Lee a point. But Trevor right in on a snatch single.
Oh, very close there for Trevor Chumbley and the Wildcats. That may have iced the match there. Now 35 seconds. Can Chumbley stave off Lee, or does Lee have one last fight for the Gophers?
It's a great shot attempt for Trevor. Brayton Lee pouring on the offense here now after a nice little slick defensive display. He's got 20 seconds to score.
Now 20 seconds. Lee's got to do something. 15 to work with. Now 10. Trevor Chumbley with defense. Already has that one stalling call. 5 seconds to go. And the 2-point solidifier. A 7-4 decision from Trevor Chumbley over Brayton Lee. This is showing the overall toughness of this Minnesota squad. And the heavyweight matchup coming up, number 4, Lucas Davison. We just saw his brother wrestle, taking on number 25, Garrett Joles. And Lucas Davison is must-see wrestling for Northwestern and the entire Big Ten Conference.
Luke has been an absolute hammer this year. dominantly winning the Midlands title. I don't think he let up a single point through that entire tournament, which is a really tough tournament. So definitely looking for him to swing the momentum in our favor here.
As we're underway, and you did mention the Midlands win for Northwestern, defeating the likes of Penn, Pittsburgh, Wisconsin, and Illinois. So getting a little bit of a taste of Big Ten action before the Big Ten slate really gets going before the NCAA championships and the Big Ten tournament, which will be in the latter portions of March. So unlike his brother, Andrew, Lucas sort of going a little bit of a slower pace here at 285.
Well, heavyweights, you can definitely expect slightly slower wrestling, but Luke is really fast when he wants to be. He's doing a good job right now of controlling the center of the mat, hand fighting hard, letting Joles move around but not really move him. Nice underhook. Luke doing a good job pushing Joles to the edge and getting a stall call against him.
And that's huge, especially in the first period. So the first stalling, a warning on Joles and the Golden Gophers. Gridlocked in that neutral position. 1 minute gone here in the first period. Nice breakdown.
Good offense by Luke. Gets that back ankle hooked and locks in a takedown.
2-point takedown there from Lucas Davison. That's some big-time opening points there for the Wildcats. And if you're Joles, the easy go-to is the escape. However, I can imagine the escape's not really that easy.
Definitely easier said than done. Luke is an absolute hammer on top. He really likes his leg ride, which is not something you see all the time in the heavyweights. So he's got great speed on his feet combined with just a really dominant ride on top, which we're seeing right now. He's doing a fantastic job keeping Joles flat, keeping his face in the mat. And that's just the kind of pressure you want to see, because Luke's not just looking to win this match, he's looking to put up bonus points for the Wildcats.
Yeah, 45 seconds remaining as Lucas Davison approaches 1 minute of riding time for his team. 35 seconds to go. And what has been, much like the other matches, some exciting wrestling on display.
Attempt by Joles to roll out there, but Luke does a really good job following him. Once again, getting him extended on the mat with short time left in the period. This is a really good ride by Luke.
And Davison with that right arm on Joles with 3 seconds, and that will end the first period. So Davison amounting 143 of riding time, and he'll carry a 2-0 lead heading into the second period. We're about halfway through our docket here on a Saturday afternoon in Evanston. So Davison starting on bottom, Joles on top.
Luke immediately up to his feet and out.
Nice escape there from Davison. Builds his lead up to 3.
And Luke's right back into him. Once again, controlling the center of the mat, working into this, into Joles.
That's something you don't usually see with some wrestlers. Their style may, once they get the escape, might try and be a little bit of a stalemate, but Davison going right in, trying to get those extra points, as you mentioned before, and cut into this 8-point deficit. Davison with the hook.
Nice job by Luke working for his inside ties. Joles is definitely moving around more in that he's moving his arms, but Davison is doing a really good job of keeping control. Every time Joles puts his hands on him, Luke just gets an inside tie, and that's a position you want to be in when you're on your feet in these hand fighting positions.
45 seconds remaining here in the second period. A 3-0 advantage. Davison losing his footing, but back in it. That could have been a capitalizing opportunity from Joles. And if you're Garrett, Joles just trying to get on the leaderboard as we enter the decisive third period. 20 seconds remaining. Davison trying to put in some work on the edge of the mat.
Luke driving in underhooks, working Joles towards the edge of the mat. Joles doing a solid job circling in.
With 8 seconds to go, they'll get back up in the neutral position. 5 seconds. Can anyone do some last-minute magic? And that's going to be how the second period ends. Lucas Davison builds off his takedown from the first period, gets an escape early on, but that was a real defensive effort there from both the Gophers and the Wildcats. Credit Garrett Joles for being able to stave off the scrappiness of Lucas Davison.
Good job by Joles threatening some offense in that period. There were definite periods where he was just backing up, but he also had some good motion on his feet, and he's absolutely in this match.
And you mentioned the defensive prowess of Lucas Davison and shutting out the 5 opponents as Joles gets an escape. But
nice escape by Joles.
With Joles, now the window is open for an opportunity. Here on the edge of the mat, we'll see if Joles can build. Nothing there as they go back to center mat. 3-1 Davison lead with 90 seconds to go.
Good action from both guys to start this period.
Locked up here at that white end you see. 70 seconds remaining. And for Northwestern, trying to build some forward momentum, as we've mentioned time and time again. Davison and Joles.
Nice snap by Luke. Both guys, a lot of action on their feet right now.
Here comes something. You mentioned that snap. Similar from Joles, 38 seconds remaining. What defense does Davison and the Wildcats have? Joles trying to get an arm in. Can he pull something?
More wrestling on the edge here. That was nice way to stuff the takedown by Luke. And Joles will get a stalling call against Davison on the edge.
And that could be crucial. The stalling call on Davison, rather. But with 15 seconds, Joles has to work some Minnesota magic. Davison getting some control with 5 seconds. Joles will not be able to do it. And a 3-1 decision coming for Davison. And a big-time win, a big-time confidence booster for the Wildcats as they make the lead 11-6 Minnesota.